While not yet officially launched for sale, Straits Times has reported that construction has quietly begun on a new BTO project in the heart of Ang Mo Kio, located at Ang Mo Kio Avenue 2 on the site formerly occupied by Kebun Baru Primary School. This upcoming development is set to inject fresh life into one of Singapore's oldest and most popular mature estate. So, the land plot size is about 2.5 football fields, so it's not that big, and apparently piling works reportedly began in September 2025. Because the land plot is not that big, approximately it will deliver about 485 flats, and based on the worksite notice, the estimated completion date is the first quarter of 2030. Now, interestingly, there's no launch date officially announced yet because it's not part of the February 2026 BTO exercise, so it could be either for June or October 2026 sales exercise. Now let's take a closer look of the location of the BTO itself. So because the site is occupying the former Kebun Baru Primary School, we can know for sure that this is the exact land plot that HDB is currently developing for this Kebun Baru BTO. So as you can see, it is quite close to CHIJ St. Nicholas Girls School. So, and then another thing, if you are wondering where is the nearest MRT station, Mayflower is over here. So according to Google Map, it's about 950 meters away. So it's not that close. Probably would be more convenient if you take a bus or ride a bicycle, but then it's still not impossible if you still want to walk, even though it will be a long walk. And then in terms of amenities, you have the Mayflower Market and Food Center over here. I think if you can cut your path here, probably it's still within a long walking distance. And then if you see the land plot, this is a landed estate basically, which means that if your block is facing this side, then you still stand a chance to get an unblocked view, even though you only get like mid-level floor. And then in nearby estates, there are also some small eateries and some small shops. So there are some options if you want to do some grocery shopping or take a quick bite. So if we zoom out, this is the Kebun Baru BTO site. If you want to go to Ang Mo Kio Hub, it's right over here. So not within walking distance, but I think you can take a bus ride. And then Tanyang Polytechnic is over here and ITE is over here. So again, it's still manageable with a short bus ride away. If you like active lifestyle, Lower Pierce Reservoir Park is over here. Again, also a bus ride away. Or alternatively, Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park is over here. Now, let's talk about the potential classification of this BTO. So, analysts widely expect this project to be classified under the plus category of the new HDB framework. This is because several factors. Number one, education. So, it is actually quite close to several top-tier schools such as CHIJ St. Nicholas Girls School, Mayflower Primary, and also Aitong School. So, that would be a good competitive advantage when you want to sell your place later on as well. Another factor is proximity to MRT station. So according to Google Map, this project is about 950 meters from Mayflower MRT station, which I know is actually not that close. But then again, if we look at previous sales launch, Oakville at Ang Mo Kio was, I don't know, was it like 1.3 or 1.6 kilometers away from MRT station, and it was categorized as a plus somehow. So this project is also located at Ang Mo Kio, right? And then it's about 1 kilometer away from MRT station. So most likely, this Kebun Baru BTO will also be a plus project. Another thing is, even though the plot land itself is kind of far from MRT station, the surrounding nearby is quite mature because you are like bus ride away from Ang Mo Kio Avenue 4 Market and Food Center, and also you can take a bus ride to Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park or to Lower Pierce Reservoir. So there are some amenities surrounding the area. So in general, I do agree with the different property analysts who are expecting that this project to be classified as a plus. I think that's pretty much going to be the case. Now let's talk about what are the pros and cons of this project. So what I like about this project is that it is nearby highly sought after schools like Aitong School, CHIJ, St. Nicholas Girls School, Mayflower Primary, etc. So this is great for families and it will be a competitive advantage when you are ready to sell your flat later on. And then in terms of amenities, there are actually quite a lot of amenities even though you need to take a bus ride. Another thing that I like about this project is that it is part of the shorter waiting time program from HDB, and it is targeted to be completed in 2030. So it's kind of quite close considering like several projects can take like 5 years or something, right? So this one is quite fast considering it's in a mature town. So definitely that is a competitive advantage. Another thing that I like is some blocks will have unblocked view because if you look at the land plot, there are some portion of it that is facing landed housing. So meaning that even though you can only get like middle level floors, you will have unblocked view already. So that's good. Another thing that I like about this project is that the nearby HDBs are kind of old, like from the 80s and 90s. So they are not so much of a direct competition when you want to sell your flat later on, because I think one of the reasons why Oakville did not get a lot of interest from applicants in the past launch is because Oakville at Ang Mo Kio at that time was surrounded by other BTO which are quite young, but then those competitors only have like 5-year MOP, whereby Oakville got 10-year MOP. But for this one, Kebun Baru BTO most likely will get 10-year MOP. But then if you look at the competition, yes, they are only standard BTO, only 5-year MOP, but then they are old like very, very old. So they wouldn't be your direct competition when you are ready to sell your flat. On the other hand, what are the things that I don't really like about this place? So number one, I think objectively, it is kind of far from MRT station because again, let's look at the facts. It is 950 meters to Mayflower MRT station according to Google Map. So close to 1 kilometer away. So it's kind of far. In my opinion, that's a downside. And then another downside would be that this project will be very competitive because there aren't that many units. So 485 is actually not much because like mega project would be more than 1,000 units, right? This one is less than 500. So I think the application rate for this project will be through the roof, especially because it is near several popular schools, so it will be very competitive. And then another downside is my prediction is the estimated subsidy clawback will be on the higher side. Why? Because it's a plus project, it's in a mature town, and this project is part of the shorter waiting time program. Because we see this in the past launch as well. Like back then, Clementi Emerald subsidy clawback was slightly on the higher side, and I'm predicting that happened because it was part of the shorter waiting time. So I'm guessing that will be the case with this Kebun Baru BTO itself. Another downside is probably the strict classification. I don't know whether it's a plus or prime, but most likely it will be a plus. But regardless whether it's plus or prime, for sure 10-year MOP for this project. So that's another thing that you need to consider if you are interested in this development. So what's the summary? With only 485 units, this is a relatively boutique development compared to the massive 1,400 units at Oakville that was launched previous year. It is smaller scale combined with its choice location near Mayflower MRT station and also several popular schools means competition for a slot here will likely be very intense. But if you do want to live in a mature town and don't mind taking feeder buses, this project may be suitable for you. Now, one might wonder if HDB already starts building, why not just officially announce the project to the public? Why keep it hush-hush? Well, there are several reasons which I will discuss in the members only video. So check out my channel if you're interested to speculate what are those reasons. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye!